I'm Christine, the anxious beginner. And that's Palais, our fearless captain. Together, we've bought a 45-foot sailboat, and we're ready for an adventure. Today is Saturday, and so tomorrow we are leaving Bainbridge to start heading towards Port Townsend. So today I did a big grocery shop, and I'm doing the meal prep right now. I'm going to make 3 different meals, but I'll make 6. Like, I'll make 3 different things, but it'll become 6 dinners, so that each night we can just pull something out of the freezer. These 2 here are going to be teriyaki, and then I'm going to have 2 shepherd's pie, and then 2 enchilada casseroles. All right, it's 9:15 p.m. We're leaving Eagle Harbor. We have our first crew member on board. Hey! There is the beautiful Seattle. And we're going to say goodbye. We're heading north to head south.
I'm trying to keep us at exactly 2100 RPM.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to use for our gas calculation.
So that we know how much diesel that we're using. So we can make sure we have enough diesel in case we have to motor.
Though looking at the weather forecast, I don't think we'll be doing much motoring.
So we left Kingston about 8 o'clock this morning. We are on our way to Port Townsend, where we will meet up with our final crew member, Wayne, and we'll stay the night there, and then we will push on into the Strait of Juan to Fucca. The first challenging leg of our adventure. Who are you?
I am Terry from Crafting and Parking Lots.
What are you doing with us?
I am going on an epic sailing adventure to San Francisco.
And what's your sailing experience? Do you have any?
None, absolutely no sailing experience whatsoever. I'm pretty much dead weight on this cruise.
So what's your strategy?
My strategy is to listen to what my people are telling me that know what they're doing and maybe learn a few things. My thoughts on the adventure are, I think we have a good crew, and so I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And I think once we get to San Francisco, we're going to have a lot of fun.
And how are you feeling about everything?
I feel good, actually. We learned how to tether ourselves to the boat and move around the boat, so in case we have rough seas. And so far, it's not super cold, it's not super hot. The weather's actually nice and comfortable. And we're learning how to watch for boats, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable that we've got that down. And they do sneak up on you. They are pretty sneaky out there. But I feel pretty good about the whole trip. I think we'll be doing good.
Is it real? we just rounded Point Wilson off Port Townsend, and we're heading up the Juan to Fucca towards the open ocean. Pretty exciting, although it doesn't really feel real yet because there's still land all around us. Yeah.
Yay! Wooch! It's here. I'm good.
Still feeling all right?
Still feeling all right. Haven't had to use the bucket yet.
Happy to be out here.
The wind in the Strait of Juan to Fucca is almost always coming from the west, which would be right on our nose. Since beating into the wind is not very much fun, we'll take full advantage of the light winds and motor, knowing that there'll be plenty of sailing on this passage. I took a short nap, and when I awoke, there was this amazing ocean swell, the biggest waves I've ever seen, and we're gonna head out to find even bigger. It was really one of these magical moments when the world is full of wonder you never knew existed because your imagination just can't do it justice.
I bet you those are naval support vessels. That's why they're so weird. Ah, yeah, that could be.
So I didn't hear any of what he said.
So,
It's
Well-
they're doing an exercise,
Okay.
and they need to have us get out of their space.
Okay.
basically, we don't want to slip in too closely to the submarine.
Yeah.
We just noticed as we're heading out here, a submarine inbound, and then this Coast Guard cutter peeled up on us and told us we had to get farther away from the submarine. So now they're watching us to make sure we actually leave. And there was these other two boats over here that we couldn't figure out what they were because they were really weird looking. Now we think they're some sort of naval support vessel for the submarine.
Well, the sailboat behind me is being towed, but also has a sail up.
Things we have to do before we head out into the blue ocean. Almost there. We still have to fix our sail. It's just a small fix. It's not a big fix. And then stow the rest of our loose things. Sponge out the bilge, which is kind of optional. There's just some water in the bilge from when we washed it out. And what we got? Oh yeah, close the bathroom vents and put cups in them. I don't know how that works. Those cups don't make sense to me. And then stow all our ditch bag stuff in our ditch bag and lash the spinnaker pole better, which I think Wayne might have actually taken care of. Got to double check with him. And then buy more fresh veggies in Port Angeles, which is not happening because we didn't stop in Port Angeles. But we are stopping in, how do you pronounce it? Siku? Siku. So we were planning on stopping in Sika Bay to top up our fuel to give us a little extra motoring room if we need it. But the whole bay is full of kelp, so it's not very conducive to anchoring. And the fuel dock itself only has 5 feet at high tide apparently, which is 3 feet too little for our draft. So instead of stopping for fuel tonight, we're gonna just go for it. Winds are looking really good from here to San Francisco, so it's unlikely we're gonna have to motor very much, so we should be fine.
Stayed the night in Nia Bay. Nia Bay is normally where people would top off their fuel, buy last-minute provisions, and wait for a good weather window before making the big left turn to head south. But due to COVID, boats are allowed to anchor, but they're not allowed to come to shore, even for fuel.
So we just left Nia Bay. We're heading to, what's this island called again?
Tatoosh.
Tatoosh. We're just about to pass Tatoosh Island.
Tatoosh.
Yeah, and we'll be out in the ocean proper. We already got the swells. The wind's not doing too bad. I mean,
gonna
the
pick
wind's
up
very
later.
low, but it'll pick out as we get further out. Between this lighthouse and that rock is the line between the inland waters and the ocean. ocean sailing. The wind's picked up quite a lot. We're doing 20 to 25 knots. We were a bit confused because we thought we were doing 10 to 11 knots, but it turns out our gauge there changed itself to, oh, gotta check them. It's okay, that's just blew us off course, so the autopilot was complaining, but it corrected itself. Yeah, our gauge was displaying in kilometers instead of knots, so it said we were doing 11 instead of the expected 5 to 6. But we're still doing 5 or 6 knots with the tiniest sliver of head sail, so that's pretty cool. How's Terry feeling?
A wee bit seasick, but other than that, doing okay.
Feeling better than yesterday?
Yeah. Definitely better than yesterday. Still don't want to move around much though.
Yeah. I was definitely feeling pretty queasy yesterday. Had to do everything very deliberately and with a plan. But this morning I'm feeling much better. I'm still not eating much because I did puke. I'm trying to eat sweet things like chocolate covered almonds that give me lots of calories.
Alright, we are on day 3, and basically if I'm not on watch, you can find me lying down somewhere trying not to be seasick. The sea state is lit. It was forecasted to be 10 feet at 8 seconds, and that's probably what it is. It's been a pretty wild ride. I've never been in any sea state like this. I'm surprisingly not freaking out about it though. The boat, while it dips and rolls, it still feels safe. We have just a tiny sliver of head sail out because the wind is, well, really it's between 20 and 30 knots. And we've been cruising right along at 6 to 8 knots. So we're trying to just keep the boat under control, a nice easy pace. We're making progress. Everyone has had a turn being seasick, so we're just trying to stay nourished, rest when we can, do our watches, and then go back to sleep. The sea state is supposed to improve not tomorrow, but the day after, so I suspect around when we all get our sea stomachs and are no longer seasick and the sea state dies down, we'll be in better spirits. But